Kyle Klingman with Track Wrestling alongside Andy Hamilton for our high school wrap-up show. 14 states on the Track Wrestling platform. Perhaps none was bigger, perhaps none was better than California. 27 nationally ranked wrestlers, one class, 48-man brackets, and of the 14 weight classes, perhaps none was bigger than 152 pounds.
Chase Saldate was awesome, Kyle. Backed up the national number one ranking, 5 pins, a 14-0 major in the semifinals, a fall in the finals against national number 11, Tyler Badgett. And we've seen the number one ranking change hands at 152 pounds a couple times this season, but Saldate really stamped himself as probably a pretty firm number one now moving forward into the off season.
We'll move around those. 145 will go down a little bit. Jesse Vasquez, fourth four-timer, beat Jaden Lee. Man, this guy is really good too.
So good in so many different positions. We saw him dominate early in the tournament with a couple 11-second pins and can really shut down people on their feet and has some scrambling skills as well. And just in complete control in the finals. You always kind of wonder how guys are going to react to the pressure that comes with trying to be a four-timer. We've seen some guys really rise up to the occasion and dominate. We've also seen some guys that have had some close matches, maybe feel the heat a little bit, but Vasquez was in complete control the entire week in Bakersfield.
We'll bump up 2 weight classes to 160 pounds, someone that shares your first name, but he also had a fantastic tournament and should be one of the wrestlers that we all remember coming out of this tournament.
Andrew Sparks, guy who comes in nationally unranked, takes out number 4, Cale Valencia, and didn't just beat him. It was 7-1, and dominant performance by Andrew Sparks. It was aggressive from the beginning. 3 takedowns, tough on top, 1 scrambles, got away. Really put himself on the radar of a lot of people nationally tonight.
Heavyweights, Josiah Hill pinned Nicholas Villarreal. Battle of nationally ranked heavyweights. I recommend going and watching that full match because there were a lot of great exchanges there. At one point, it looked like Villarreal could have won the match, but whenever you see a pin, you might think that it might be dominant one way or the other, but not this case. 2 competitive heavyweights. We'll go way low. 106, Andre Gonzalez, late reversal. He defeats Raymond Lopez 4-2 in a battle of top 5 ranked 106-pounders. And then I'm going to let you talk about 113. Richie Figueroa is just plain good.
It's awesome. He's so good in so many different positions. Really electric on his feet, lightning fast, tough on top. He can ride people when he's got to ride them, and he did that to Joey Cruz, takedown late in the first period, and kind of took control after that. It ended up being 5-3 with late score by Cruz, but man, what an impressive performance for Figueroa to beat Cruz 4 times this season and back up what he did a week ago, 5-0 a week ago, and then to follow it up with a 5-3 win. Really strong performance by Figueroa. His 3rd title in 3 tries. We mentioned how difficult it is to win 4 titles in California. Heck, it's difficult to win 1, let alone 4, but Figueroa will go for his 4th next year. And one thing that's never happened in California, Kyle, they've never had 2 4-timers in the same year. Got a chance for that to happen next year because Maximo Renneria of Buchanan, also a junior, he won his 3rd title at 126 pounds.
As we mentioned, 1 class in California, so when you win the state team championship, you have beaten every single team in that tournament. Buchanan runs away with the team title, 261 points, 77.5 points ahead of second place St. John Bosco. 9 wrestlers place in the top 4. Man, this is a good team.
It's incredible. It's a top 5 national team. They've really cemented themselves into a top 5 spot for the season. Potentially have a chance to move up in the final rankings that we'll put out after the season. But congrats to Buchanan. Really incredible performance that they put together for 3 days in Bakersfield.
California has its own vibe. So does Minnesota. You can win 6 state championships. You can start in 7th grade. But we saw a couple 4-timers here at the Minnesota High School State Championships.
Yep, Stillwater's Reed Ballantyne, Casson Manorville's Patrick Kennedy. Valentine won his 4th as a junior. He'll be back next year going for 5, trying to put himself in that elite class. Meanwhile, Kennedy's going on to Iowa. National number 1 at 182 pounds. Both guys had tremendous tournaments. Valentine handed Ben Lunn a 6-0 decision at 132 pounds in Class 3A. It was a close match the last time they wrestled at the Minnesota Christmas Tournament, a 1-point match, but Valentine looked really strong. And then Kennedy took care of number 18, K.N. Short, 5-2 in Class 2A at 182.
170 pounds, even though you can wrestle as a 7th grader when you're a freshman and you weigh 170 to win state, it's a pretty impressive deal, and that happened in Minnesota.
Yeah, Max McAnally of Waconia, 3-1 winner in overtime against defending champion Gabe Nagel, guy who came in, as I mentioned, defending state champ, undefeated on the season, but McAnally had a tremendous tournament.
126 pounds. It's hard to rank where the best matches of the night could be, but 126 certainly is in the running.
Yeah, absolutely. It was back and forth, really entertaining, tremendous action. Paxton Crease of Shakopee, a state champ in the past. Ryan Henningsen managed to come back and beat him, though. Late score in that one. He pulls out a 6-4 victory, as you mentioned, one of the most entertaining matches that we saw all night.
106 pounds, had a chance for someone who could have set himself up to be a 6-time state champion. Came close, got 2nd place, but 106, another great match.
Yeah, national number 11, Jory Volk, suffered his first loss of the season in the sectional tournament. 10-3 loss to Coy Biskins. Bounces back and wins the bracket. 4 really tough guys in the semifinals. As we mentioned on the show, coming out of Friday night, those 4 guys that made the semis were combined 184-10. 7 of those 10 losses came to fellow semifinalists. But Volk won a 2-0 decision against Robideau back in December at the Minnesota Christmas Tournament. He pulls out a 3-2 win in the championships.
West Coast, Midwest, now we're going to go all the way to the East Coast. Let's talk New York. And when we've posted a lot of these results online, a lot of people do get confused when we say someone won 5 state championships. And Greg Diakomahalis, he did win 5 state championships, 4th wrestler in state history to win 5, and he looks kind of like someone else we've seen in college named Yanni Diakomahalis. I think he's going to be good just like his brother.
Yeah, Greg one-upped his brother. Yanni was on social media after that happened and posted the score that it's Greg 5, Yanni 4, and there's a lot of similarities between the two in the way that they wrestle. It's going to be pretty exciting for Cornell fans to add another Diakomahalis to the mix. You got 2 more years of Yanni, and you got 4 more years of Greg for the Big Red, and certainly some other highly credentialed guys going to be put in that lineup for years to come. So Rob Cole's got to be pretty excited to add Greg to the mix, along with what he has in-house already.
As we said, there's been 4 5-timers, never been a 6-timer, but there might be an opportunity after this year.
There could be. Peter Duke, 7th grader, runs through the tournament, 2 techs, 2 pins, finishes 45-0 as a 7th grader. That was pretty incredible what he did in New York this year. 99-pound state champion. New York drops down to 99, and he dominated the 99-pounders.
Always have to mention one of our favorites, Steve O'Poulin, won another state championship from Shenendehowa. And one of those guys that's always entertaining. We mentioned in the preview show about his viral video. You have written about him, but he continues to win championships, continues to win matches, and always brings it.
Yeah, always entertaining and put up big points in the finals. Tech Fall win for title number 3 for Steve-O.
Kansas had maybe the takedown of the entire nation. It was a takedown between Cade Lout, national number 6, with 10 seconds left to beat number 2 Kyle Haas 3-1 in the Kansas finals. And if you look at the crowd, they were going absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, thunderous takedown. 2 super highly credentialed guys. Lout was a runner-up a year ago. Haas made the Cadet World Team in freestyle. Also won the Cadet World Team trials in Greco. Just one that we mentioned coming out of Friday. That was probably the match that we were going to have our eye on for Saturday, and it lived up to the billing. It was 1-1, great flurry at the end, and And there was some serious horsepower on display with those two.
Wisconsin has a number one wrestler. Keegan O'Toole fall in the finals, 18th four-timer in Wisconsin history. You can't talk enough about how good he can be and what he brings to Wisconsin, but there's been a good run of some good Wisconsin wrestlers, and we'll see if he can match what Ben Askren has done.
Yeah, Missouri's got to be really excited about bringing him into the fold. I know that this season probably didn't go the way that Missouri fans would have liked or the way that they're accustomed, but the Tigers are reloading here. They're bringing him in. They've got several other guys in this recruiting class, a strong recruiting class, and you can certainly see what Brian Smith has lined up, a young squad. We mentioned a week ago Rocky Elam, another national number one coming in for Missouri next year. It's going to be a young team. It's a young team on the mat now, but Tigers look like they're on the bounce back.
We were in this studio watching when Braden Scholes had a rally to win his match. You got excited about it. You got me excited about it. And I hope everyone else who gets a chance to watch this gets excited about it.
Yeah, it was one of the 12 matches that we highlighted as state championship matches to watch Saturday night. And these guys certainly made us look prophetic with the performance that they put on display. It was their fourth match of the season. Medora, a Wisconsin recruit, was going for his third state title. He won the first meeting of the season. He won the third, which was a week ago. Scholes posted a victory in January. Man, this one, Kyle, I don't know that we saw a better match the entire night. Medora, first period takedown, and Scholes battled back from it. Takedown, 15 seconds to go to force overtime, and then an incredible scramble in OT that Scholes hung in there, won the scramble, ended up pinning Medora after the takedown. But hats off to both guys. What incredible match, incredible entertainment. And like I said, I don't know that we saw a better match the entire night.
Sophomore Nicolas Rivera scored 3 falls, major decision to remain unbeaten for his career. As we go to Oklahoma, really one name, one team dominated the entire narrative of what happened in Oklahoma, and that is Tuttle.
Incredible, Kyle. 247 points, 11 finalists, 9 champions. I think they were 37-7 in matches for the tournament. They won 6 straight weight classes in the finals. I don't know that we've seen anything like that occur all year. We've seen some teams that have come close to that, some teams that put up monster point numbers, but for a team to basically take over the finals like that, it was a sight to behold.
And then Perry was denied, wasn't it?
Rarely happens. We're talking about a program with 43 state championships. I don't know that they've gone more than 2 since the early 1960s, that they've gone more than 2 consecutive years without a title. But they won it a year ago. They came up short this year. Comanche wins it in Class 3A, denying Perry its 44th state title.
Sperry's Bryce Carter defeated Comanche's Cade Cook 4-2 in overtime in the Class 3A finals at 170, rematch of last year's title bout. Class 5A champ Collinsville won 4 consecutive weights. Collinsville Caleb Tanner won his 4th state title. Broken Arrow rolled to the Class 6A title, and Cougar Anderson, someone that we love his name, won a state title. Speedy Walden took 2nd. And we've seen some great names out of that, but doesn't get better than Cougar and Speedy.
Yeah, Oklahoma, year after year, they're a traditional power when it comes to putting the best names in high school wrestling on the map.
In Delaware, national number 4, Gabe Giampietro rolled through the tournament at 106 with 2 pins and 2 techs. In South Dakota, national number 2 heavyweight Nash Hutmaker, 4 pins in 2 minutes and 40 seconds combined. 4th state title, finished his career with 73 straight falls. The bad news is he's not going to wrestle. The good news for Nebraska is he's going to play football.
Yeah, the Huskers need some help. They're getting it. They need some help on the football field, and they're getting it certainly with Nash Hutmaker. Pretty highly coveted lineman prospect. As you mentioned, we wish that we would get to see him more in the future on the mat, but wrestling's loss certainly is football's gain in this case.
And I would think Nebraska head coach Mark Manning is probably going to try to get him over onto the wrestling mat. We'll see if that happens. Wyoming Moorcroft won its 8th straight title in Class 2A. Kemmer's Dawson Schramm won his 4th state title. And anytime you win 4 state championships, it's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And saw another 4-timer out in Wyoming, and it was a close call.
It was.
Got a couple close calls. Jace Palmer won his 4th state title, but it didn't come easy. He had to go to OT in the semifinals, pulled out a 5-1 victory there, needed a takedown in the finals with 10 seconds left to pull out a 9-8 win against Reese Osborne. Takedown with 10 seconds left put him ahead by 2, and then he kicked Osborne away, and it almost bit him. Almost bit him, Kyle.
It did, and he was kicking away. He was running, doing everything he could. He raised the 4 afterward because once you win 4 and the career's over, it doesn't matter if you got it ugly or not. You got your 4th state championship. South Carolina Eastside had 12 guys place 4th or better, had 205.5 points to win the Class 4A title. Idaho sophomore Kyle Rice captured his 2nd title in Class 2A, and we have featured him, and he has a pretty amazing story.
Yeah, I wrote about him a year ago. He had a shop class accident where he cut off part of his thumb, and I thought that his season was over a year ago as a freshman. He wound up wrestling basically one-handed and pinned his way through the postseason. Didn't have to deal with that this year. And he cruised to a Class 2A title and posted an 11-4 win in the finals out in Idaho. So he's a 2-timer who will go for his 3rd next year as a junior.
To wrap this up, Oregon, Newberg ended Roseburg's 6-year title run in Class 6A, rolling up 310.5 points. Crescent Valley racked up 9 individual titles and 303 points to win the Class 5A title. And then we had some state dual tournaments in Illinois. It's the big deal when you win the state dual team title. You are the state team champion. Dakota beat Coal City 40-19 in Class 1A. Lamont beat Washington 30-26 in Class 2A. Montini beat Mount Carmel 37-9 in Class 3A. And then Michigan, Division 4, Clinton beat Hudson 36-27. Division 3, Dundee beat Richmond 44-18. Division 2, Lowell beat Gaylord 53-4. And then the one everyone's talking about, Division 1, Detroit Central Catholic 34-23 over Davison. There was a situation there with national number 1 Alex Facundo moving up to 189 pounds. Got a takedown, what appeared to be a takedown. It was called an illegal slam. It went the other way. Ended up giving up the points on their side for Davison, and they ended up losing that duel. But that's the buzz right now. Everyone's talking about it. And that is a wrap for what we saw from across the nation. Tons of action, and it really couldn't get better than what we saw this past weekend.
We thought last week couldn't get better, but this week certainly matched it. Only bad news is we don't have 14, 15 more next week to run through. So I'll have to wait till 2021 to have a big weekend like this again. But it's been a fun 3 weeks, Kyle.
It has been fun. We've seen a lot of monster weekends. We've seen upsets. We've seen highlight moments. We've seen some of the all-time greats in high school extend their streaks and just add to their legacy. It's been a lot of fun. For Andy Hamilton, I'm Kyle Klingman. Thanks for watching.